this video for any student who did not understand the polyatomic ions. Okay, the polyatomic ions are a group of elements, or as a group of elements, that are covalently bonded to each other and has a charge. Okay, you can't understand this without an example. Let's start with a simple example of polyatomic ion, which is the hydroxide. Hydroxide is OH minus. So it's oxygen and hydrogen. The oxygen and hydrogen are covalently bonded to each other. There is a covalent bond between oxygen and hydrogen, and they have a charge. So the whole OH minus has a -1 charge. Okay, this is one example. Let's take another example. Nitrate. It's NO3 minus 1. NO3 minus 1. So one nitrogen atom with 3 oxygen atoms, they are covalently bonded to each other and they have a -1 charge. Sulfate. Sulfate. And just note that most of them have the 8 part. Most of them. Okay. It's SO4 -2. So it's sulfur. 1 atom of sulfur, 4 atoms of oxygen. Okay, the shape of it is not included with you for now. You will take about it later on. So it's 1 atom of sulfur surrounded by 4 atoms of oxygen, and it has a -2 charge. Phosphate. Phosphate is PO4 -3. Phosphorus surrounded by 4 oxygen atoms and has a charge of -3. Carbonate. CO3 -1. Carbon, 1 atom, surrounded by 3 atoms of oxygen and has a charge of -2. Hydrogen carbonate. It's HCO3 -1. The same as the carbonate, but added to it is hydrogen atom, okay, or hydrogen as ion, sorry. Okay, and it has a charge. This one has a charge of -2. This one, because it has a hydrogen, so it has a charge of -1. Okay. Now, the problem is with some students how to write the formula of compounds having a polyatomic ion. Okay, let's start with a sample one. Let's say sodium nitrate. Okay, as I mentioned before, there's one here, I have to add it. NH4 plus, which is ammonia. Ammonia is in 1 atom of nitrogen surrounded by 4 atoms of hydrogen and has a charge of +1. Okay, sodium nitrate. As we said before, the nitrate, which is the polyatomic ion, NO3 minus, the bond between nitrogen and oxygen is a covalent bond. They are covalently bonded to each other, so we have a covalent bond. When this nitrate, or when this polyatomic ion is bonded to another element, or especially here we have a metal, so as I have a metal and a non-metal, so the bond between them ionic bond. And between the nitrate itself, it's covalent bond. So I have two types of bonds. I have the covalent bond inside the nitrate itself and an ionic bond between the nitrate and the sodium. Okay? And now, how do we write the formula of sodium nitrate? As you remember, I will start with the with the metal first, with the positive ion, which is the metal, sodium, Na. Nitrate is NO3. This one has a charge of +1, -1. You just omit them with each other, so you will have NaNO3. You remember this? Okay. Another example, we will take, let's say, magnesium. Hydroxide. Magnesium is Mg. Hydroxide is OH. It's from over here, OH. Mg is from the periodic table. It's N group 2, so it has a charge of +2. OH has a charge of -1. As you remember, if I have two different numbers, I have to exchange them. So I will have here because OH is a group, as I said before, it's a group of elements. So because OH is a group, any number that should come over here should be for the whole group. So that's why I will use the brackets and I will put the number outside the brackets. The OH, the hydroxide, inside the brackets, okay? And the number is outside the brackets. The meaning of this number in outside the brackets means that it's for the hydrogen and the oxygen at the same time. So I have two atoms of oxygen and two atoms of hydrogen. So this is magnesium hydroxide. Okay, another example. Let's say, for example, aluminum sulfate. Aluminum is in a group 3, so it has a charge of 3+. Sulfate is SO4, and it has a charge of -2. I will exchange the numbers. The 2 will be over here underneath the aluminum, and the 3 will be over here underneath the whole group of SO4. So the result will be Al2 between brackets SO4, the whole group by 3. So Al2 SO4 by 3 is the aluminum sulfate.